Alright, so this is another story with the prompt, what was something that was worth the risk? And I will name the story Worth the Risk because the only reason it was worth it is because I have a good story out of it. So, other than that, it was stupid and I probably shouldn't have done it. Anyway, so last year I was a freshman at UNT and I was living in the dorms and I lived in Clark Sharks, and I had a roommate who I met on Instagram and we vibed really well at the beginning. Her name is Shayla. We vibed pretty well in the beginning and we hung out a lot and I just thought she was super cool. So at the I want to say maybe the second week of school, maybe third week of school, very beginning, she comes home one night and she's like, let's go get a piercing. And I was like, oh, I don't know about that because my mom is really against that stuff and she was like, let's go get a piercing, it'll be fun, something spontaneous. And I already have a cartilage piercing and my second's done, so I was like, well, I've done it before, but I didn't know what I wanted, and I was like, oh, it would be cool to get the conch piercing, which is, I'll show you, it's this one in the thickest part of your ear. For some reason I thought, oh, that's cute, I'll get that. And so it was like 10, maybe 11 at night. It was really late at night. And we just walk into this place. We see 3 other girls there from UNT. They're also all getting piercings spontaneously. Because, that's what you do when you're in college. And so we go and we meet our piercer guy. He's this, big, tall, buff, bearded, tatted up guy who looks really scary, but he's really nice. I can't remember his name. I really wish I did because it was pretty funny. But anyway, he was helping us out, and I chose to do that conch piercing. And I didn't really think about preparing myself before. I didn't think about, maybe you should eat before, maybe you should drink a lot of water, prepare your body for that trauma. But I didn't. So I went, and I went first. And we also took my sweet mate as well. Her name was Taylor. We also took her. She got a nose piercing. But anyway, so he gets the thing prepared and everything, and I'm sitting down, and this is super spontaneous. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Can't believe I'm doing this. I'm so cool. College, woo. And so I remember holding myself like this and biting my thumbs, and then he did it, and he pierced it. And it was so painful. I think that's probably the most pain I've ever been in. And, there's blood coming down. There's this blood everywhere. And I'm I feel fine at first. And I'm sitting down, and I feel fine at first. But then, I know, all the blood just leaves my face. So I felt really dizzy, and I laid down for a second, and it was fun. And then I get up, and I sit down on a chair in the room, and I'm sitting there, and I'm waiting for my roommate to do her thing, and then all of a sudden, I wake up, and I'm on the floor, and my head hurts really bad, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, are you okay? And I was like, what happened? And apparently, I was sitting there, and I was drinking water, and all of a sudden, I just face planted the ground. I was sitting like this, and I just went forward and just face planted on the ground. And my whole head, right here, all the way down, was just, it hurt so bad, and it was tender to the touch, and it was just I was like, oh my gosh, my roommate was laughing at me, but I was like, oh. So then one of the guys he walks past the room, one of the artists or whatever, the tattoo people. He like walks past and he goes, me on the ground, and he's like, oh, would you like some zebra cakes? And I was like, what? And so he brings me like zebra cakes and lets me eat them, and I was like, oh, that's so nice of you to do that. So I sit there and I'm eating and I'm drinking water, and yeah, and then my roommates got their piercings, and then we went to the store, we got stuff for it. They're like, are you okay? Are you okay? And yeah, and now I have this piercing in my ear that I don't know how I feel about it, but I do know there's a good story out of it, and the fact that I face planted in the middle of a tattoo shop and got fed zebra cakes and water and paid about $80 for that experience. It was worth the risk for, the story, but I would not recommend doing that. And my mom still doesn't know the story. She's seen it, but she doesn't know about it. She doesn't know, what happened that night. Nor will I probably ever tell her, because she would be so upset with me. But yeah, that is my story.